Hey, what's up, replay viewers? My name is Huei Pan. So today's lesson is entitled Just Relax. Today's lesson is for all the students that are preparing for fall drumline auditions, all the students who are looking to audition in the fall, and you might be experiencing some tension, especially if you're trying to go faster, and this ties in nicely. All right, so the first exercise we're gonna cover, guys, is it's 16 on a hand, but there's something specific that I want to mention about this, which was last time when I was watching Vanguard do their thing, they had this variation on 16 on a hand. They actually do 8 on a hand, but for 2 sets. Their basic 8s exercise looks like this. And usually people stop here, right? But they keep going. Okay, and they do that several times at various dynamics. But the variation that I want to cover, and this is written out in today's free PDF if you want to download it after the lesson today, is they introduce dynamics, or what we call hairpins, right? So the hairpin is when you crescendo and decrescendo, and they make it into a 16 count phrase. So let me just demonstrate what that looks like. 5, 6, ready, go. Now that's deceivingly simple. It looks really simple, but there's a lot of stuff going on in there in order to play that well and in order to play that together with other players. Not only changing dynamics, which comes with various tempos. Sometimes when you decrescendo, people tend to speed up a little bit. The sound quality potentially could change. As you're getting softer, you might be feathering or dropping those notes in, so your hand pressure actually has to firm up a little bit so that you're controlling each one of those notes. And then when you crescendo out of it, it actually takes a little bit more energy. There's a tendency to pull slow because you're getting louder. So I guess what I would suggest is, if you haven't practiced decrescendoing and crescendoing in your basic 8s exercise or 16 on a hand exercise, I would recommend adding that to your basic warm-up. So if you play, let's say 8, 8, 16, for example, you're going 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, decrescendo. Right, and you just practice 8 counts of smooth decrescendo. Make sure every note is softer than the previous note and that the decrescendo isn't abrupt, right? If you've checked this out, this is the beginning. This is actually the very first exercise in volume 5 of the Marching Percussion Playbook. I have all the dynamic variations written out, and you want to isolate just the crescendo or isolate just the crescendo. So let's speed this up just a little bit, and we're going to do a couple reps of this and just look for a really smooth crescendo, decrescendo. And the most important thing is to listen for the inner beats and make sure the sound quality is just as full and relaxed in the hands as when you're playing forte. You're not squeezing as you get softer. It's firming up so you control it, but the sound quality should still remain open and full and beefy as you get down soft. Okay, here we go. Decrescendo, crescendo. So you're working your dynamics, you're working on not squeezing as you get softer, just firming up, but being able to stay relaxed but still move through these dynamic ranges. Really important. Why? A lot of times when you see students or younger players get into the show music and there's a crescendo or there's something fast, then you see them trying to muscle out the notes. And right now we're just teaching our bodies how to move between different dynamic variations while continue to stay relaxed. Okay, next exercise that a lot of students play is double beat, right? We've all played the variation that looks like this. Right, and in volume 4 of the Marching Percussion Playbook, where I talk about rolls, that's how we roll. It's a whole library of double beat type exercises that you can play to build your rolls. One of the variations that I teach is like an A, B, C. So the first pattern that we just played, that would be the A. The B pattern would look like this. and then the C pattern would look like this. Okay, so you've got those 3 variations, and what happens when you start learning this, you're like, okay, check out the rolling exercise lesson, because this isn't about rolling per se, but this is the importance of staying relaxed. As soon as you start kind of gripping down, I remember when I was in high school and we started playing this exercise faster and faster, you start wanting to clamp down more. But mature players actually are more mature because they're able to continue staying relaxed as they're playing this exercise. Okay, so let's try this. We'll play the exercise so it looks like this. 1, 2. And then we'll repeat it. Repeat that. 2 and 1, 2. Here we go. Thanks for those hearts, guys. One more. Pattern B, check. One more. Pattern C. One more. Okay, so you've got those 3 variations. Now that you've got that, let me do a quick side note here. There's been several lessons we talked about stick control. Really important exercise because that's how you start incorporating this relaxed flow and motion into both hands, especially if one hand is playing a single note and another hand is playing a double, right? You want to replicate that relaxation in both hands. So one way you can do that is you adapt this double beat exercise that we've just played into a flow exercise, okay? So one way to do it is this. So you make that double beat exercise into a stick control flow exercise. Another way to do that is at the very end, instead of going right, right, you can play paradiddle, and that turnaround puts you on the left hand. So it's paradiddle, left, paradiddle. If you've never tried this, give it a shot. This is a great developmental tool for building that flow and relaxation as you're playing double beat. And when you go faster, you're working this double sticking and you're practicing going from the right hand to the left hand. It's just a really nice tool to help you stay relaxed. For the second variation, it could look like this. Bop, 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 that one. Bum, 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 bum. Paradiddle, paradiddle, ba, 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 paradiddle. Right? And then the third one, bing, 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 bing. There's this like inverted roll bit at the very end, so it's bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Right, right, or left, left. 1 da 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 da, left, left, da 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 da, right, right, left, left. This would make more sense if you're looking at the PDF. Just fill in each hand, and then you'll see at the end of the C pattern, there's this double left or double right going into the new pattern. So if you're going from the right hand to the left hand, it's left, left, a 1 going into the second measure, or if you're going into the third measure, a 1, right, right. Okay, so let's try it just a little bit slower. And we're just going to play it straight through. So 2 count check, then A pattern, B pattern, C pattern. No fill first time, and then we'll fill it the second time. Okay, 1, 2, 2 count check. B pattern. Fill it in now. 2 count check in the beginning. Paradiddle. The theme of today's lesson is just relax. So as you're going faster and you feel yourself going, and you start choking or pinching off the stick, remember to tell yourself just relax. And I should say this also, which is when people tense up, the first thing they do is they stop breathing, and then that causes their shoulders to rise like this. So the first thing I remind my students to do is to relax your shoulders and breathe. That's the first thing. If you're chopping out, relax your shoulders, breathe. And then this phrase is very important. Tension breeds tension. As soon as you introduce tension into your hands, then there's a good chance that it'll creep into your arm. More tension is breeded from this tension into this arm, then your shoulder, then into your deltoid, and then your trapezius. The next thing you know, you look like this, and you're like, I don't know why I can't play any faster. I don't know why the sound sounds choked off and I can't blend with the guy next to me. It's because you need to relax. So if you're struggling, just relax. Tell yourself to relax, okay? So those are 2 common pitfall areas where I see students start tensing up. The third exercise that we're gonna take a look at